Welcome, everybody, to Wisdom Tip. I am so glad that you're here tonight. I have a surprise for you tonight. I'm so excited. I can't hardly stand it, but I'm going to calm myself down. But I think you're going to enjoy it. I have a special guest today. And those of you that don't know me, I'm Dr. Connie Green. And I'm here to give you some wisdom tips for today. And if you know anybody would like to be able to hear some drops and nuggets from me on tonight, we're going to be talking about some exciting things about being disrupted and the importance of having a disruptive life for positive for uh, positively, not negatively. Okay, and so we're going to get on and we're going to go ahead and get started. We're getting ready to air episode 62 of Wisdom Tips Show, and we're going to dive into the profound transformational power of wisdom on today. I am so excited. Like I said, I have this special guest that's coming, and we're going to be talking about how we can deal with having wisdom through the disruptive intervention for positive change. Let me say that again. We're embarking in a journey to learn how to have wisdom through disruptive intervention for positive change. Oh, I know you want to go ahead and just share right now this broadcast with someone so you can understand what this is all about. I think you're going to really, really enjoy it once it's breaking down and explained it a little bit better. You will be surprised exactly what that is. All right. So I am so honored tonight to drop the mic for my husband. He's going to be the one to drop pearls of true wisdom, giving us the tools that we need to live a victorious life. Hello, Dr. Green.
Hello, sweetheart.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good
All
right
right.
now.
I'm so excited to have you on tonight.
I'm
Uh,
glad to be with you.
so excited. I asked Dr. Green, which is my husband, to come on tonight because the Lord downloaded something in his mind, and he got up at 3 o'clock in the morning the other day and he wrote it down, and it was so profound. I say, honey, you've got to be on Wisdom Tips tonight to share it with the people. It was so profound. I just couldn't believe it. So I'm sure he's going to tell you more of the story. But those of you that don't know my husband, his name is Dr. Roger Green. He is the bishop and the senior pastor of Prayer and Deliverance Tabernacle, and I am his assistant pastor. He's also a marriage and family counselor. He holds a Juris Doctorate degree. He's a serial entrepreneur, real estate developer, and a licensed contractor. So I'm so excited to have him tonight. So if you want to hear more about Dr. Roger Green Sr., please share this broadcast with somebody. You're gonna be very excited the nuggets that he's gonna give us tonight. I am so excited. So go ahead, share. Let somebody know that Roger Green Sr., Bishop Dr. Roger Green Sr. is on the air tonight. So, honey, I'm going to ask you a few questions since people don't know you. I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and I want you to share with us a little bit about yourself. So, number one, I would like to ask you, who was the greatest influence in your life?
I would say the greatest influence would be my grandfather. He would be my greatest influence because he walked in the place of my father. I never knew my father, so my grandfather would be my greatest influence. But there are some others professionals
Mm-hmm.
um, that were great influences. I had great influences on my life. One in particular, it was Judge Clifton E. Johnson,
Mm.
who he's gone on to be with the Lord now, but he was one of the first Superior Court judges in Mecklenburg County, and he was a great influence. And another was an assistant principal by the name of James McDonald, was a great influence. And not to mention my former pastor,
Mm.
Bishop Edward C. Roberts of
Amen.
Calvary Christian Church of the Apostolic Faith. He was a
Absolutely.
great influence. So I had a lot of influencers in my life, and I'm proud of that.
Well, great. Number two, who are you living for, and what kind of things that you would like to impact in the lives of people? So, who would you say you're living for? You're living your life for to impact.
Uh, Impact wise is the younger or young people as well as the middle age. Us old folks, we've had our opportunity.
Mm,
So really, it would serve no purpose to download all the information that I have to
mm,
somebody that's going the same place I'm going.
yeah,
so,
right.
so it's the young people that we need to download this information that we have through experience, so that they can be benefited by it, and they should be doing the same thing when they reach this plateau.
So I guess you would say you want to be empty before you die and give
That's
out
right.
all that you can to the youth and those that need to know about life because you lived the life, you've seen a lot of things, you have a lot of wisdom. And I remember someone told me, an older lady told me one time that there are so many gifted and talented people in the grave that never mentor others to be able to move forward and to
Right.
be able to do the things that needed to be done in the life that we're living in. So thank you for that information. Number three, what is the thing that makes you unique?
What is the thing that makes me unique? Well, first of all, God made me unique, since there's no twin. Uh, but the thing that I would say that makes me unique is my ability to forgive, move forward without anger.
That's great. That's great. And that's very important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
important. Tell me some things that you're passionate about. I mean, you're at the age now, you've seen it all, you've done a lot of things, you've traveled, and you've been preaching all over the country and teaching and pointing to people. You are a developer, you build buildings, and you're still pastoring at the age that you are now. So, what makes you have that drive and be so passionate about what you're doing?
Well, first of all, you must always maintain passion,
Mm,
uh, which is purpose. When you have no purpose, then God has no reason for you to be here.
wow.
So you got
Mm,
to maintain purpose.
amen.
Always, no matter how old you get, you should still have purpose. It's important for you to remember that, that if you don't have purpose, then why are you here?
Right.
And God would ask, if he asked the same question, then he would have to answer by removing you, because you
Mm,
serve no practical purpose. You have
wow.
no purpose. You're just here. You're just in the way.
Hmm.
And so that's why it's so important to keep purpose. I'll always keep purpose, even if it's just going fishing. I'll
Hmm.
always keep purpose. You got to always have purpose.
So, what would you say the problem that you was here on the earth to help solve people's problems? What do you think you're good at? That you're good at solving? That you are unique and you got that gift that nobody else has, just like you. So, what are some of those things that
That
you have in your gifts and talents that God has given you that you put on this earth to solve?
I think is arbitration and mediation,
Mm.
conflict resolution.
So, is that why
Uh,
you became a lawyer?
mm, it could be. I can't answer that. Because I never really thought about the reason why I became a lawyer, other than um, economic deprivation.
Mm.
I needed to grow economically, because I grew up in impoverished and without a lot of instruction, direction, or infrastructure, and
Mm-hmm.
so I knew I had to build whatever I was going to build, from the ground up. And this is why I guess the title of my book I just released is From Ground Zero to Greatness. And it sounds like it's a short distance, but it's a long step to go from ground zero to greatness. But it can be done. Can be done.
Thank
It's
you
a how to
so
book.
Thank you so much for those answers tonight. Very impactful, and I'm sure the people are going to enjoy hearing some of these testimonies. So let's get to the show topic that we're talking about tonight. I am so excited to have you on to talk about uh, what is the disruptive intervention for positive change. When the Lord
Well,
woke you up the other morning, you said He spoke that to you. Exactly what is that? Can you share that with the people to give us a little bit more understanding what it's all about?
yeah, it's called disruptive progress intervention, DPI. And first, I have to confess why God gave me this. I don't know, except there is an issue. There's something in my life that's impeding my success, and it's been there for quite some time. And I think I got to the place where I sort of ignored it
Mm-hmm.
and keep ignoring it. But then God reminded me that I'm not going anywhere until I resolve it. And so
Mm,
it's just been a great big old disruption. It's been a great big old impediment that should have been moved long time ago,
mm-hmm.
but for the motivation and the compassion and the wisdom to recognize that, hey, this thing's in your way, and until you move it, you can't reach your destination,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Right.
so God even gave me this topic, this disruptive progress intervention. And it is what it involves. It involves taking strategic action to address or mitigate disruptions.
Mm,
Disruption. Disruptions, I'm telling you, they are everywhere, and they come from everyone, through everyone, and they can be of any characteristic. And so you have to be mindful of disruptions. All right. And so I'm talking about the ones that impede or stop your progress. All right.
mm,
And I want to give you an example of a disruptive uh, progress disruptive intervention situation. Say you're driving down the road and you're on a one lane road and it's one way, and a tree fall across the road and you can't drive across it,
mhm,
and you can't move it because it's too heavy. So now you've been disrupted. No matter what your plans are, what your goals might be, until you move that tree, you're
mhm,
going nowhere. And so these are the kinds of obstacles that I'm talking about that are in the lives of the people that oftentimes they disappear into the woodwork,
mhm,
and they're part of your subconscious, and you never really get around to moving them out of the way. And so this is the call, a clarion call for you to identify those impediments or those obstacles that has disrupted your progress and move them out of the way. And so that is what this is all about. Now, I didn't go to sleep, nor did I go to bed with the idea or the notion that I got this problem and God, I need you to help me solve it.
mhm,
I wasn't even really thinking about it. I'm trying to get some shut eye, you know, but God deals with me in dreams. And so it became a dream. And but then God spoke to me. Every night I do this, and I would recommend it to anyone. Always keep a notepad or something to make notes on your nightstand or by your bedside, because sometimes God will download things to you. But
mhm,
what God told me in this particular instance, He said to me, wake up and write this down, because
mhm,
if you don't, when you wake up, you will not remember it.
mm.
Okay. And
Yes.
so when God tells you to wake up, I'm game. So I woke up, sat outside of the bed, and made these notes. And God just continued to add to it when I woke up, and I was still able to retain what I had written. So this disruptive progress intervention involves identifying the sources and getting rid of them. And so the question today is, what is in your way?
Mm.
What's in your way? What's standing between you and your success? uh, and we need to be specific. We need to be specific. Uh, Everybody's not standing in your way, so forget that one. Be specific
Yeah.
as to what it is that if you could alleviate it, you would be able to move to the next level. All right. And so you have to spend some time identifying and thinking about what that obstacle is. And so when you do that, um, you can you can move forward. You can go to the next level. I
Mhm.
don't know how we're doing on time, but I have identified 5 wisdom tips to stop disruptions that impede or stop your progress. And I
Well,
wanted to share those with you very briefly before we can conclude our program.
okay, but before you give the tips, we're gonna go on to break. But before we go to break, I want you to kind of talk just a little bit about the negativity piece. When you said
Okay.
the Lord woke you up, and,
Yeah,
and it was you was going through something that day. You got a disturbing phone call, as a matter of fact,
that was the following morning.
the following morning. And
Yeah,
so
that was after
when
the fact.
when God downloaded that to you, you
Mhm.
said it encouraged you to let you know that it was just a disruption, and so you wasn't going to allow that to spoil your day, so to speak. Can you share a little bit on that end?
Right, but that was after the download. Um, the thing that came to my mind was the fact that there are a lot of negative influences that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, and these influences are disruptive. They disrupt our thought patterns. They disrupt our actions. They disrupt us or impede us from reaching
Mhm,
goals that we have set for ourselves,
mhm.
and they're founded in upon negativity. And so, in order to go forward, you have to remove all of the negative disruptions in your life,
So,
and to
so,
move forward.
so, in other words, in life, no matter what we do, when we try to obtain greatness or do make another step, go to school, get a new job, change jobs or whatever, getting married, have kids, it's going to always be a disruption that's going to
Right,
try to stop you from moving forward or
right,
discourage you for
right.
being in the place that you basically are. Right.
That's right.
Thank you
That's
so
right.
much. We really appreciate that and then how you explained it to us. I hope you guys is getting something out of this. So what it's basically saying, the way I got it was when we get overwhelmed and we get depressed and we get overwhelmed from working and seem like nothing is getting any better. We're not getting the job that we want. We're not getting the raises, and the children are not doing any better in school. And you just get overwhelmed with so many things in life we can get overwhelmed by. Then when we do all of those things, we can realize that it's natural for the enemy to come and disrupt your plans. Somebody ought to put that in the comment. The devil just basically want to disrupt your plans, so he's going to always put a monkey wrench in anything that you're doing when you start progressing in life and things start happening positively for you. So we can't allow the negativity to come. We can't allow the enemy to sit up on our shoulders and talk in our ears about craziness. So we don't have to participate in that negativity and craziness that sometimes the enemy tries to put on us to get us to stop doing what we was called to do and giving up. Some of us, we give up too easy because it's hard. But sometimes God wants us to push us out into the deep waters. There's a scripture that says how you need to go into the deep, because when you're in the deep waters, if you can't swim, you may feel like you're drowning. You may drown, so you're afraid to jump into the deep waters. You want to stay on the edge where you're comfortable. So sometimes God don't want to make he does not allow us to be comfortable. So he puts things in our way to disrupt what we're doing so we can learn how to build some muscles and move forward. All right. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you so
the
much,
main
Dr.
thing
Green.
is that it keeps us from really seeing what's important.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
thank you so much. At this time, we're going to go to break. And when we come back, Dr. Green is going to give us 5 wisdom tips for being how we can deal with being disrupted in our lives. Okay. So before we go to the break, I want to remind you all to please share this broadcast with someone. Tell somebody about this broadcast. Tell them that Dr. Roger Green Sr. is on. He's got some great information that he's going to share with us in the end. All right. Thank you so much. We're going to break right now. When we come back, Dr. Green is going to share with us the 5 tips that we have on for wisdom tips on disruption, not participating in foolishness. We're going to be disruptive, but he's going to give us some encouragement on how we can get through it. God bless you. We'll see you when we get back.
CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you've been enjoying this. I know I have. I am so excited now to hear from Dr. Roger Green Sr., which happens to be my pastor and my husband. For those of you that don't know him, we're going to be talking about disruption, the intervention of disruption, so we can have positive outcome in our lives. Sometimes we give up on life when things stop us and we just feel like, well, I'll just do it another time, or I'm not going to go to school, or it didn't work out. Have you ever heard somebody say that? I know I have before. When things seem like it didn't work out, I just feel like, well, maybe that's not God. I'm not going to move forward. But no. There's going to always be a disruption in your life, and you got to keep pushing forward and don't stop. All right. Never stop. If God called you to do anything, if you feel in your spirit that you're gifted in an area, don't give up. You may say, well, somebody's better than me. They can sing better than me. They can write better than me. And that may be true, but you are different, fearfully and wonderfully made. God got a gift just for you. So don't let the devil stop you when those disruptions come your way. We want to go ahead and we're going to just let God have his way. We're going to intervene and not participate in that disruption. We're going to intervene and stop it. If I'm upset, I'm going to stop being upset. If I feel like I'm afraid, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to pray, and God's going to help me, because he didn't give me the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. So we're going to disrupt him. We're going to intervene and say, not today, devil. Hallelujah. Thank you so much again for tuning in. I'm going to stop talking because we got to get to these 5 tips, and I'm so excited. I know he's got some good stuff for us. And those of you that's just tuning in, we have been sharing disruptive innovation for positive change, and so we want you to just share this broadcast with someone if you'd like it, and we certainly appreciate it. And those of you that don't know, Dr. Green also is an author. He talked a little bit to us about his book and what the book is all about. And if you're interested in it, just go ahead and just inbox me, and I'll make sure that you get a copy of his book. So at this time, we're going to go on to wisdom tips. Wisdom tips number 1. Dr. Green, I'm going to let you go ahead with your wisdom tips now. The first one is identifying and anticipating potential disruptions. All right. Tip number 1. All right. Could you go ahead now, Dr. Green, and you can talk to us.
Expound on that one. Yes. First of all, we have to understand, number 1, you cannot stop disruptions. You cannot stop. They're going to come. But what I need you to do is to get ahead of the game by anticipating and the conduct through a thorough analysis and identify these potential disruptions before they come. It takes a little bit of foresight, a little bit of looking ahead. Sometimes you can see some things coming before they get here. And that's what one of the strategies is for overcoming these disruptions through wisdom. All right. And so we have to address or assess the internal and external factors that come into play when it comes to disruption. Sometimes technological advancements can cause a disruption because we don't know how to navigate the new technology. And so we have to keep ourselves, we have to anticipate these things and sort of stay abreast of what's going on, or stay up to date with what's going on, and identify these factors. Most of the greatest disruptions come from internal secrets, things that nobody know about but you, that's holding you back. Good example. I dropped out of college for 2 years to keep from taking accounting 1, 2, 3 and cost. and until I realized that, hey, I've got to navigate this, and if others are doing it, why can't I? So I went back, ended up making the honor grade all the way through. But look how long it took me to identify the fact that my progress had been disrupted because I had allowed this to stand in my way, and nobody else knew what it was. Nobody knew that was the reason why I didn't go back and register the next semester. It was because of fear, false evidence appearing real, fear. And so that's that's number 1 that we need to do. We need to identify the potential things. There are certain things that are going on in our lives that we can identify as being potentially disruptive, and we can get ahead of those and cut them off before they ever be able to take root.
Okay, now we're going to go on to number 2 because we're running out of time. So if you could just share with us very briefly on fostering the culture of adaptability.
Fostering a culture of adaptability and innovation. Yeah. You want to have, first of all, to foster that, you need to have a culture of change about you. And your inner circle. You need to encourage your inner circle to have that same culture, because change is inevitable. There has to be some changes.
So we have to adapt. We have to adapt to things and not just give up, right?
Right. You have to really, you should be ready for change.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Look at the automobile industry, from the first automobile to where we are today. How many changes have taken place?
Many.
Yeah. And so that's the same way in our lives. We have to continue to change or be susceptible to change and embrace it.
All right.
Embrace change. In fact, that was part of the series we just finished on
Mm-hmm.
elevation. And
Absolutely.
so,
Tip
and
number
so this
3.
will involve, find new approaches to problem solving,
Mm-hmm.
and generate innovative ideas. Don't kill ideas, generate them. Sometimes you need to just make a note of ideas, even if you're not ready for them at that particular moment or that particular time. Write
Mm.
them down anyway, because they may become relevant later on, and you will have missed the whole idea that was coming your way.
That's great. Innovation. I like that. Tip number 3.
Develop contingency plan.
Mm-hmm.
Contingency plan is an alternative plan. Most of us, we got a plan A, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and we might have a plan B. And our goal is, if plan A don't work, go to plan B. And if plan B don't work, go back to plan A, which already failed for you.
So we need
So
a contingency plan
contingency plans
and stick with
um,
it.
need to be complete,
Absolutely.
so that irrespective of what happens, you have a way to pivot or sidestep whatever's coming after you and continue moving forward towards your goal. Uh,
Okay.
it is a plan that deals with things that can go wrong.
Okay. Tip number 4.
Tip number
Is to
4:
build a strong
build
collaboration.
strong collaborative network.
Okay.
I have been told that the number one is too insignificant to make any great change,
Mm.
great progress. So therefore, we need collaborative networks. We need to collaborate with other folk who are on the move, folks who are doing something, folks who are about something, folks who are trying to accomplish something, and more specifically, folks that are going the way we're going. All
That's
right.
great. Thank you.
And
Tip number 5. I think that's the last one.
right. Tip number 5 is a continuous monitoring of these disruptive uh, interventions,
Mm.
and flexibility. Flexibility. We cannot be so rigid. We can't be rigid. Rigid. You know why glass breaks so easy? It's because it's rigid. It
Wow.
has zero flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
Glass cannot bend at all.
Mm.
It breaks
It breaks.
because it has no bend. We cannot afford not to be able to have flexibility. Flexibility means that I don't, even if plan A fails or plan B fails, I still have a plan.
Wow.
Why? Because I'm flexible.
Because you're
Uh,
flexible. Mm.
I'm flexible. What I may be trying to accomplish, I may not be able to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish, but my flexibility is going to allow me to accomplish something great. And the wisdom that I would give you for that notion is this: aim for the moon, you may land upon the stars. And so, irrespective of which one you land upon, you up there. And so that's the whole idea, is to get up there.
Thank you so much, Pastor Hubby. Thank you so much for being here. That was excellent. Thank you so much. I know I have enjoyed it. I know the team has enjoyed it, and I know those that are going to be coming in, even from the replay, is going to enjoy it. This is some good stuff. We might have to do part 2. Thank you so much for being here with us. I know you're very busy, but you took your time out to be with us tonight. We really appreciate it. Well, you guys,
Welcome.
it's going to be it for this week's episode of Wisdom Tips. Please join us again on next week. at 7 o'clock p.m. on Thursday evening, Eastern Standard Time. And also, you can also join me on Facebook, YouTube, CTR Media Network, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And be sure to subscribe to this channel. And don't forget to click the notification button so you will be reminded every time we upload new content. And remember, we ain't got no time for tears or fears. Wisdom is the principal thing. And all that get an understanding so you can live a victorious life. God bless you, dear hearts. I'll see you next week.